Ever heard the story that NASA spent millions inventing a pen that could write in space? It's a tale that's been passed around for years, often used to highlight government waste or the ingenuity of private enterprise. But how much of it is actually true? Let's dive into the real story behind the so-called space pen and separate fact from fiction. Well, here's the truth. It's a myth. The idea that NASA spent millions on a pen while the Russians used a pencil is a fascinating story, but it's not quite accurate. The reality is a bit more nuanced and interesting. In the early days of space exploration, both American astronauts and Russian cosmonauts used pencils. Pencils were a logical choice because they could write in zero gravity. However, they had their own set of problems. The graphite tips could break off and float around, posing a risk to the delicate equipment and the astronauts themselves. Not to mention, the wood shavings and graphite dust could be a fire hazard in the pure oxygen environment of the spacecraft. Enter Paul C. Fisher, an inventor who took it upon himself to create a pen that could overcome these challenges. Fisher developed the Space Pen, which uses a pressurized ink cartridge to write in zero gravity, underwater, and even upside down. This pen was a game changer, not just for space missions, but for various other applications on Earth as well. And guess what? NASA didn't spend millions developing this pen. Fisher invested his own money into the research and development of the Space Pen. Once it was perfected, NASA tested it rigorously and found it to be a reliable tool for their missions. They ended up purchasing these pens for just $2.39 each, a far cry from the millions often cited in the myth. The Space Pen became a staple in both American and Russian space missions, proving that sometimes private innovation can solve public problems efficiently. It's a great example of how ingenuity and determination can lead to practical solutions that benefit everyone. Did this fact surprise you? Hit that like button and share it with someone who loves space. The story of the Space Pen is a reminder that not everything you hear is true, and sometimes the real story is even more interesting. And follow for more fascinating stories from the stars. From myths to facts, we've got you covered with the most intriguing tales from the final frontier.